Good morning, my plant-loving friends. Welcome to your Daily Plant Pulse, a podcast-styled series rooted in my deep fascination with plants. Here, plants go through a plant pulse research protocol where we uncover fascinating insights from scientific studies and share them with you. All studies I review are sourced in the description. I'm not a doctor, just someone who loves to research plants and present what I find. Our 9-part series takes you from an introduction to the plant through amazing studies and even an occasional bonus episode. Be sure to check out our Plant Pulse playlist where all of our episodes on all plants will be. And when a plant profile review is complete, explore our Living Library playlist for an in-depth consolidated review. We dig deep into history, forgotten studies, and untold stories so plants can have a voice and their story can be told. Welcome to episode 10, a special bonus episode where we explore the suppressed side of the plant world. Every so often, a plant's story leads us beyond biology and into the realm of history, economics, and influence, where past discoveries met suppression and curiosity collides with control. In these rare episodes, we follow the trails that don't always make the headlines. Patents, policy shifts, conveniently forgotten studies, and stories that quietly vanished from the public's eye. We're not here to speculate, but to observe what's been left unsaid and bring into the light. The truth speaks when it's given the light. Sometimes understanding a plant means understanding the world that silenced it. So let's get digging. So our topic for today is focused on the global cultivation and economic value of 2 yam species, Dioscorea alata and Dioscorea bulbifera, and the contrasting legal and regulatory treatment they receive in the United States. These plants are rich in Diosgenin, a compound with known pharmaceutical applications, and their story reveals a striking divide between international use and domestic restrictions. Let's begin with the global picture. Across Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean, Dioscorea alata and bulbifera are cultivated, studied, and processed for both traditional and industrial purposes. In India, these yams are grown in regions like Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, and Western Himalayas, where they are used in Ayurvedic medicine and pharmaceutical formulations. China integrates them into traditional medicine and also extracts Diosgenin in an industrial scale. In Uganda and Indonesia, researchers focus on germplasm development and compound isolation, exploring the plant's biochemical potential. Nigeria and Ghana also participate, using the yams in traditional healing and small-scale extraction. These regions treat the plant as valuable resources. They're cultivated internationally, harvested for their chemical properties, and monetized through various industries. The global market for Diosgenin sourced from multiple plants, including these yams, is estimated at $800 million to $1.2 billion annually. Most of this value comes from its use in steroid hormonal synthesis, including progesterone, cortisone, and contraceptives. Diosgenin also plays a role in cosmeceuticals and nutraceuticals, contributing to skincare, wellness, and dietary supplements. Despite this commercial success, some of Diosgenin's most promising applications remain underexplored and untapped. Research suggests potential benefits for cancer support, liver health, and cognitive function, yet these areas are largely untapped. And we're wondering why. If fully utilized, the compound could rival segments of the pharmaceutical market worth billions or more. Is chemotherapy really necessary? We have no idea, because we haven't asked this compound to compare itself and its results to chemotherapy and other cancer-related drugs that are currently being used. Now let's look at the US. In the United States, Dioscorea alata and Dioscorea bulbifera are not cultivated for their chemical value. Instead, they are outlawed and restricted under invasive species laws. Yet they grow wild. Why are they not being harvested if they are so invasive? These laws cite ecological concerns, rapid growth competition with native plants, and difficulty of control, but many other yam species share these traits and remain legal. What sets Dioscorea alata and Dioscorea bulbifera apart is only their Diosgenin content. In fact, Dioscorea bulbifera accounts for less than 10% of the global Diosgenin supply, yet its estimated annual profit still reaches 80 to 120 million annually. That's a significant figure for a plant that's banned in parts of the US. The reasons for this suppression include regulatory restrictions, the need for hydrolysis to unlock the compound, and limited access to enzymes or chemicals required for processing. These barriers make it difficult for individuals or small-scale producers to work with the plant legally or effectively. It's 100% illegal to go in your backyard where these plants are growing invasively and extract the Diosgenin from them, unlock the compound, and provide it to somebody else. This brings us to a broader pattern. When we examine the U.S. invasive species lists, a clear trend emerges. The only Dioscorea species banned are the ones richest in Diosgenin: Dioscorea alata, Dioscorea bulbifera. Other yam species, some equally aggressive, are left untouched. Nature doesn't discriminate, but the law seems like it might. This selective targeting raises questions about motive. The global cancer drug market reached $223 billion in 2023 and is projected to exceed $400 billion by 2028. Hormone therapies and related pharmaceutical interventions dominate a market worth trillions over time. Access to a natural, cheap, and potent compound like Diosgenin could challenge that dominance because it's a compound that cannot be controlled once released to the public. It's not just about ecology, it's about economics and control. Nature has offered a solution, a compound that is potent, affordable, and chemical-free. But when profit is at stake, access becomes restricted. The plants are now labeled weeds. Biological controls like the air potato leaf beetle are deployed to suppress them. These beetles feed exclusively on Dioscorea bulbifera, weakening the plant and reducing its reproduction. The intervention is framed as ecological management, but it coincidentally seems to target one of the richest sources of Diosgenin and the second richest source. Just so happens that these two sources grow wild and invasive in the southeastern United States. Meanwhile, the rest of the world continues to cultivate, study, and profit from these plants in the U.S. They grow wild across the southern U.S., untouched by commercial hands or labs that could study them. It's legally barred from cultivation and largely unknown to the public. They represent a hidden army of biochemical potential, possibly. Is the United States falling behind in pharmaceutical research due to pharmaceutical companies putting profit over progress? The legacy of Russell Marker, who pioneered Diosgenin extraction in the 20th century, reminds us how powerful plant compounds can be. His work laid the foundation for modern steroid synthesis, yet the plants he worked with are now suppressed through regulation, biological control, and legal barriers. So what we see is a pattern, it seems: discovery, suppression, and silence. The plants are potent. The science is promising. The global market is thriving, but the U.S. has access limited, not by nature, but by policy. Well, that wraps up this episode of Plant Pulse, where we explore the stories, science, and sometimes shadows behind the plants we think we know. In a world full of noise, digging deeper takes courage, and I'm honored to share that journey with you. If this episode sparked questions, curiosity, or even a little discomfort, that's okay. That means we're thinking critically together. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated, what challenged you, and what you'd like to explore next? Do you know any underground stories on plants that we should cover? If you value content that goes beyond the surface, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for being part of this growing community, and until next time, let every moment bear fruit. The pulse continues.